take us to Cursed Mountain. What's it all about?
What do you want to know?
So who are you, and what's going on in this game?
Okay, it's a story about two brothers. It's a journey, so to say. Your younger brother, he's a hot-headed guy, taking a lot of risks, and try to compete with you, with your older brother, all the time. And once he's just did one step too much, one loose step, so to say, and he's lost on an expedition on a mountain called Jomolonzo. And you, the main character, Eric Simmons, you try to, rescue your younger brother. You don't know anything about the expedition. You just know that your brother is missing. So you rush to that mountain, try to figure out what's going on, talk to all the non-playing characters, to the local people there, to the expedition leader, try to find out what happened, and try to rescue your brother or find him on time, and hopefully alive, but you don't know. That's the story about the game. So at the end, when you're at the top of over 8,000 meters on the summit, you know what happened. But there you have to buy the game and spend some time on it.
It's a mountain to climb, this game, right?
Yes, it's a constant journey upward. You start in a city on 5,000 meters and you end up on the summit of Jomolonzo, the sacred one, the local people call him, on more than 8,000 meters. And there, all the bits and pieces that you put together throughout the whole game are then together and combine a big picture of the story. And then the story is told and everything.
Adventure games on the Nintendo Wii isn't that common. Why did you choose that platform for this game?
The reason for the Wii is based on a concept that we created for the fighting system, for the combat system. When we started about Cursed Mountain, we never talk about the platform first. For us, always the content and the story is most important. So we had the idea to have something in Far East with religion, mythology, some kind of Asian, Japanese games in this direction. And then during the research, we found out that monks, Tibetan monks, really use their arms in order to support the prayers. And when we had this concept, we got to the point where the Wii was introduced to the European market. That was more than 2 years ago. And like any other developer, we just went into the retail store and bought a Wii and tried to figure this out. Then we had this control, Wii motion control, and we had this concept in the drawer about a fighting system that is based on no weapons but just gestures. And we said, sounds like a perfect match. And that's actually how we really got into that and picked the Wii as a platform. I think there's no big difference no matter what platform you work on. There's always a huge challenge, especially at the beginning, where you just start actually very literally with a piece of paper where you just scratch pencil drawings on it, and then you just have to imagine and envision a game like this in a final status. So it needs a lot of imagination and a lot of, cojones, I would say, to go through a development of any game, no matter what platform you have. But challenge on the Wii was definitely that it's a kind of a new platform. It was new for everyone. And try to figure something out, a very risky and very innovative combat system, and try to make this work, try to make this design work that you have on paper in real game with the build, that it works and it makes fun to the player. That was definitely the biggest challenge.
Because there's always a risk with gestures that you overuse them, maybe you force the player to use them too much.
Well, I think the most important stuff, especially with the Wii controls, is to use it in the right context. Many games just use it for button mashing and it just, you have the controls. I think it's really important that it makes sense for you as a player. So we really try to figure that out and have a context to real life. In our case, the basis is mountaineering. So what we have is we have climbing, where you use the nunchuck and the Wiimote, like ice picks, which you have to put in the wall, where you have balancing games to cross narrow bridges, for example. We have meditation games, where you just use the Wiimote and the nunchuck to meditate, have a kind of rhythm game to calm down and relax and to enter the meditation state. This makes sense. We have a situation where ghosts grab you, try to grab you, to suck life from you, where you just protect yourself and push them back. This very natural movement where you just protect yourself. So we really try to make sense or give sense for the player, that he can understand, they have figured it out and it makes sense for me. I think if you do that, gesture system works. That's at least our idea.
Because also, if you want someone to follow the story, you don't want them to be too exhausted from.
Yeah, well, the story is very important for us, and we spend a lot of time. We spent actually 10 months in pre-production to get all this right and all this done. Based on the mythology, Buddhism, everything that we tell throughout the whole game is based on real-world facts. It's nothing that we made up, because we really think that when you stay close to the real world, close to it could be, it could be real, it could be happening in real world. I think that's a big thrill for the players. And I think this is something that we should learn from television and movie, that we deal with, science fiction with mythology that is based on real-world facts, and give a bit, add something to it to make the story interesting. But when you play it and when you sit back and finish the game, you think like, wow, when I go to this area and I go there and I find something, that this really could be, real happening. And I think this is a kind of thrill that we will see more in games in the future, because this is something that gives a big value, adds a value to a single-player experience.
So where are you at in development right now?
Oh, the game is done. It hits the shelf this Friday, August 21st. It comes out in Europe, August 25th in the States, and September 4th in the UK. So the team is very happy. We already have the first box in our studio, and this is a moment of big, pride, and we're very happy. This is the motivation that keeps you alive for a long period. Also through dark periods when everything is not that happy and you have to struggle, or where you struggle and have to go over obstacles, to go on. You have this thing in mind that at one day you go to a retail store, buy the product, have it in your hand, go to your friend, said, this is what I've done the last 3 years, where I spent a lot of time on it, and I'm proud of it. I think that's a big motivation, and it's something that's very special for the gaming industry, because a lot of industry don't have that. You never have a finished product. We have something that we can, hold in our hands and be proud of. So it's very cool.
Thank you very much for your time.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.